Z. Bravo, ZEE is the answer. Butanoic acid is. Right again. Non-optically active is a valid answer. Structure shown is. Right choice. A glucose is the best answer. Position isomers are. Valid point. Structural isomers is true. Optional isomers have. You're right. Non-superimposable mirror images is the correct answer. 2-methylbutanoic acid is. On track. Optically active is the correct answer.
What is an Huckel rule?
Great thinking. Any integer is the right choice.
Confirmations of butane are.
Nice work. You chose all, and it is correct. Optical isomers have different. Solid response. Configurations is a valid choice. Resonance stabilized is due to. Perfect. Delocalization of pi electrons is the correct choice. Chiral carbons will produce dash. Well done. Optical isomers is the right choice. Number of pi bonds in benzene are. Smart move, 3 is an accurate answer. What are the shapes of p orbitals? Well reasoned. Dumbbell is the correct choice. The quantum number represents. Well picked. Main energy level is the correct answer. Classify the given pair of compound. You got it. Your choice stereoisomers is right. Cyclopropane has maximum dash strain.
Nice selection. Angle is the correct and valid answer.
The psi unit of frequency is the dash. You chose Hertz, and it is correct. A particle of light is called a dash. Smart pick. Photon is the correct choice. Name each compound by the easy system. Sharp thinking. 2-pentene is the right choice. Optical isomers are of how many types? Clear logic. Your choice 2 is sound and 100% true. Determine if the chiral center is Argus. Exactly. R makes sense, and it is right choice.
But 1N but 2En are examples of.
Great job. Positional isomers is the accurate answer. 2 enantiomers will have the same dash. Strong choice. Solubility is the right answer. Racemic mixture is formed by mixing 2. Correct response. Enantiomers with chiral carbon is the most accurate answer. Can a linear molecule have aromaticity? Nicely done. No is a solid answer. Compton effect next is carried out with. Good thinking. X-ray is the right answer. Anthracene has dash annular carbon atoms. Excellent choice. 4 is the right answer. An asymmetric carbon is the same as a dash. Correct. Chiral carbon is the right answer. What are the 2 major classes of isomers? Excellent. Constitutional and stereoisomers is a brilliant choice. Most stable conformation of cyclohexane is. Good job. Your answer chair works well here. How many 4d orbitals are there in an atom? You got it. Your choice 5 is right. CS isomer contains the like group in the. Well picked. same side is the correct answer. The lowest energy conformation of butane is... Smart move. Anti-conformation is an accurate answer. What does the slope of the graph represent?
Correct. Planck's constant is the right answer.
The most unstable conformer in cyclohexane. Right again. Half chair is a valid answer. How many conformations of ethane are possible? On track. Infinite is the correct answer. Naphthalene consists of dash, annular positions. Correct response. 2 is the most accurate answer. Which conformer is most stable in cyclohexane? Good thinking. Chair conformer is the right answer. The configuration of following molecule is dash. Nice selection. Z is the correct and valid answer. What form of isomerism are these two chemicals? Nicely done. Geometrical isomers is a solid answer. Which scientist developed the quantum mechanical? Excellent choice. E. Schrödinger is the right answer. Write a set of quantum numbers for a 4D orbital. Valid point is true. What chiral configuration does the chemical have? Good job. Your answer R works well here. How many electrons can the third energy level hold? Excellent. 18 is a brilliant choice. In staggered conformation dihedral angle is dash. Perfect. 180 is the correct choice. A mixture of dash will read as optically inactive.
You're right. Enantiomers is the correct answer.
Which one is the most stable form of cyclohexane? Nice work. You chose chair and it is correct. Identify the name and stereochemistry of the acid. Well reasoned. L-lactic acid is the correct choice. Which of the following shows Syndar's anti-isomerism? Exactly. Vehicles make sense and it is right choice. Which conformer of ethylene glycol is most stable? Great thinking. Gotch conformer is the right choice. Instrument used to detect polarity of the compound. Right choice. Polarimeter is the best answer. What form of vitamin A involves in vision mechanism? Strong choice. Retinol is the right answer. Do isomers have the atoms connected in the same order? Solid response. No is a valid choice. A molecule which has no elements of symmetry is called sharp thinking. A symmetric molecule is the right choice. The molecule used as a standard in DL nomenclature is smart pick. Glyceraldehyde is the correct choice. Which of the following is an optically active compound? Bravo. Enantiomer is the answer. What color of light has the greatest energy per photon? Well done. Violet is the right choice. Restriction of rotation about the C-equal torque is responsible for. Great job. Geometrical isomerism is the accurate answer. The energy barrier for rotation of C-C bond in ethane is.
Clear logic. Your choice 3 Cogmol is sound and 100% true.
As particles are exposed to colder temperatures, they dash. You chose slow down, and it is correct. What is the configuration of the following chiral center? Solid response. S is a valid choice. The number of optically active isomers of tartaric acid is. You got it. Your choice 2 is right. In Newman projection formulae, front carbon, denoted by dash. Nice selection. Dot is the correct and valid answer. How many electrons can occupy any single subshell orbital? Smart pick. 2 is the correct choice. Chiral center, A dash. Atom bonded with dash, different groups. Bravo. Carbon, 4 is the answer. By using method of cyclization, cis form of malic acid form. Nice work. You chose maleic anhydride, and it is correct. What is the system used to designate enantiomers as R or S? On track, Carn-Ingold-Prelog system is the correct answer. Niels Bohr's atomic theory is similar to the concept of the. Well reasoned. Solar system is the correct choice. Which of the following conformers is not a transition state? Excellent choice. Twist boat is the right answer. Energy released for conversion of chair form to half chair form. Smart move. 11 kilomole is an accurate answer. The most stable conformation of N-butane is dash conformation. Good job. Your answer, instead of wandering, works well here. How many orientations can a d orbital have about the nucleus? Good thinking. 5 is the right answer. Which of the following molecules does not possess enantiomers? Excellent. Great cakes is a brilliant choice. Which step of free radical bromination forms the major product? Well picked. Propagation step 2 is the correct answer. How many types of significant conformers does N-butane possess? Correct response. 4 is the most accurate answer. In cyclooctane, which of the conformer is found to be more stable? Nicely done. Chair is a solid answer. In cyclonanane, twist boat chair exits in which symmetry elements? Correct. I is the right answer. Which one of the following will exhibit conformational isomerism? Perfect. Propane is the correct choice. According to Bayer strain theory, cycloalkane is most stable. Great thinking. Cyclopentane is the right choice. The instrument used to measure the optical activity of a compound. You chose polarimeter, and it is correct. The chiral molecule should contain the following symmetry elements. Right again. None of the above is a valid answer. Which of the following compound has Gauche as its stable conformer? Valid point. 1,2-dihydroxyethane. What is the change of state from a solid state to a gas called? Right choice. Sublimation is the best answer. What is the physical property that differs between two enantiomers? Strong choice. Optical activity is the right answer. How many delocalized electrons are there for each benzene molecules? You're right. 6 is the correct answer. The distance traveled between two successive peaks of a wave is the. Well done. Wavelength is the right choice. Conformation and reactivity of reactants can be correlated using dash.
Exactly. Weinstein-Eliel equation makes sense and it is right choice.
An electron for which n equal to 4 has more dash than an electron for which n equal to 2.
Clear logic. Your choice energy is sound and 100% true.
What is the energy in IV of a photon that has a wavelength of 6020 nm?
Great job. TeV is the accurate answer.
Which of the following is an alkane which can exhibit optical activity?
Sharp thinking. 3-methylhexane is the right choice.
Assign a priority order for the following.
Great thinking. 1, 3, 4, 2 is the right choice.
Which other factor, along with torsion, decide the stability of conformer?
Strong choice. Intramolecular hydrogen bonding is the right answer.
In D, I'll nomenclature if O group present, at right side then dash is used.
Well picked. Deconfiguration is the correct answer.
How many type of isomer exist based on rotation of plane polarized light?
You got it? Your choice 2 isomer is right.
The maximum number of stereoisomers possible for 4-phenyl, but 3 in tool is...
Smart move. 4 is an accurate answer.
What kind of stereoisomer that is not superimposable on its mirror image?
Ooh. Sharp thinking. Enantiomer is the right choice.
Which number of pi electrons satisfies Huckel's rule? Check all that apply.
On track. 6 is the correct answer.
What is the configuration at the stereogenic center in the given compound?
Great job. Counterclockwise or S is the accurate answer.
The photoelectric effect only occurs if the light shining on the metal is...
Excellent choice. Above a minimum frequency is the right answer.
How many stereoisomers can a molecule with 3 stereogenic centers have?
Well done. 8 is the right choice.
Compounds having same molecular formula but different structures are called...
Valid point. Structural isomers is true.
Configuration of chiral carbon IEC2 and C3 in following compound is dash.
Solid response. R is a valid choice.
What is the term used for a pair of stereoisomers that are not enantiomers?
Good thinking. Diastereomers is the right answer.
The golden rule is related with which of the following nomenclature? Concept.
Nice work. You chose SIP rules and it is correct.
Photoelectric effect provides the evidence for the dash nature of radiation.
Exactly. Particle makes sense and it is right choice.
The ratio of de Broglie wavelength of a moving proton and moving electron is...
You chose 1p2 and it is correct.
What is the term for stereoisomers that are not mirror images of one another?
Smart pick. Diastereomers is the correct choice.
From the Newman projection in the figure, what form of conformer is arranged?
Well reasoned. Staggered is the correct choice.
If electrons in an atom have the lowest possible energies, the atom is in the...
Excellent. Ground state is a brilliant choice.
In a stereoisomer, dash means on the same side, and dash means cross from.
correct response. Cis, trans is the most accurate answer.
The total number of orbitals that can exist at the second main energy level is.
Right choice. 4 is the best answer. Energy used for the conversion of staggered form to eclipsed form of ethane is. Good job. Your answer 3 calm mole works well here. The necessary and sufficient condition for a molecule to depict enantiomerism is. Correct. Chirality dissymmetry is the right answer. Flagpole H in boat conformation of cyclohexane are pointing towards each other at. Perfect. C1 and C4 is the correct choice. How many types of hydrogens are there in cyclodecane boat chair boat conformation? You're right. 6 is the correct answer. The separation of a mixture of two substances that are enantiomer pairs is called. Nicely done. Resolution is a solid answer. Geometrial isomer, also a stereoisomer, the absence of optical activity is due to. Clear logic. Your choice all the above is sound and 100% true. What is the term for a compound that does not change the plane of polarized light? Nice selection. Optically inactive is the correct and valid answer. The eclipsed conformation of ethane is dash, stable than its staggered conformation. Bravo. Less is the answer. Different stray analysis methods used for determination of geometrical isomerism is. Right again. All is a valid answer. In Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, the uncertainty of dash and dash is discussed.
Nicely done. Postion and velocity is a solid answer.
An orbital that can never exist according to the quantum description of the atom is.
Great thinking. Pardon is the right choice. In Fischer projection formulae, those group present dash that are away from observer. Excellent choice. Vertically is the right answer.
When an electron absorbs enough energy, it jumps up to a higher level. This is called.
Correct. Excitation state is the right answer.
Which projection formula is best suitable for exploring the conformational isomerism? Right choice. Newman projection formula is the best answer. Which of the following conformation is most stable conformation of N-butane molecule? Well picked. Antiperiplanar is the correct answer. Twist boat is more stable than boat form of cyclohexane due to absence of dash, strain. You're right. Transannular is the correct answer. If a stereoisomer has a TORA, 3 is configuration about C2 and C3 the other isomer will be.
You got it? Your choice cut. Hair is right.
In the Newman projection of ethane, what is represented by the front and back circles? Nice selection. 2 carbon atom is the correct and valid answer.
In Fischer projection formulae, those group present horizontally that are shown by dash.
Excellent. Dark line is a brilliant choice. What is the term for the rotation of polarized light to the right of the noon position? Well done. Dextrorotatory is the right choice. The energy difference between eclipse conformation and staggered form of N-butane is dash.
Strong choice. Both MB is the right answer.
What is the term for a molecule or object that is not superimposable on its mirror image?
Well reasoned. Chiral is the correct choice.
What is the term for light that has an electric vector that oscillates in a single plane?
Nice work. You chose polarized light, and it is correct.
Which of the intranular hydrogens are on upper side in cyclooctane chair conformer?
C1, 4-6 is true.
The energy difference between Boat and Che conformation of cyclohexane is -kmol.
Right again, 7.1 is a valid answer. How many quantum numbers are needed to describe the energy state of an electron in an atom? Great job. 4 is the accurate answer. In eclipse conformation of ethane molecule, dihedral angle between two hydrogen atom is dash.
Bravo, Zo is the answer.
In fixture projection formulae dash, group should be placed at the top of the vertical line. Smart pick. More oxidizing is the correct choice. In which of the following projection formulae CC bond between two carbon atom is not visible? You chose Newman projection formulae, and it is correct. The statement that no two electrons in the same atom can have the same 4 quantum numbers is sharp thinking. The Pauli exclusion principle is the right choice. The set of orbitals that are dumbbell-shaped and directed along the x, y, and z axes are called perfect. P orbitals is the correct choice. In absolute method functional group in cis isomer located cis to each other can be converted to solid response. All is a valid choice. What is the maximum number of stereoisomers a molecule with 3 stereogenic centers can have? Good job. Your answer 4 works well here. The process of separating a racemic mixture into its components enantiomers is called as dash. Good thinking. Resolution is the right answer. The energy of a photon is directly proportional to its dash and inversely proportional to its dash. Smart move. Frequency wavelength is an accurate answer. If the brightness of a beam of light increases without changing its color, the dash will increase. Exactly. Number of photons makes sense, and it is right choice. Calculate the uncertainty in the position of particle if the uncertainty in momentum is 1x10 3g cm odds. 2.527 10 24 cm is the correct answer. The only way to increase the number of photoelectrons emitted is by increasing the dash of the light. Correct response. Intensity is the most accurate answer.
According to Bohr, the energy absorbed by an electron upon excitation comes in a fixed amount called
Clear logic. Your choice quantized energy is sound and 100% true. What is the dihedral angle between two adjacent hydrogen atoms in the eclipsed conformation of butane? Solid response. Zo is a valid choice. Which of the substituents are ranked as the highest priority based on Canning-Gold Prelog ranking rules? You chose H2PO4, and it is correct. Which of the following is a stable conformation of cyclohexane with less torsional strain than the others? Right again. Chair is a valid answer. What is the term for different spatial arrangements of atoms that result from rotation about single bonds? Smart pick. Conformational is the correct choice. In flying wedge formulae, those groups show by dotted line Brocken wedge that indicate that particular group is dash. Strong choice.
away from observer is the right answer. What type of strain is hindering the two compounds below from freely rotating and interconverting between one another?
Great job. Steric strain is the accurate answer.
This image shows the following.
Perfect. Staggered conformation, Newman projection is the correct choice.
The given compounds 1 and 2 are excellent. Constitutional isomers is a brilliant choice. Identify in the concept map. On track. Stereochemistry is the correct answer.
Shown figure is an example of dash.
Correct. Geometric isomerism is the right answer.
In syn paraplanar conformation of N-butane molecule rotation about C2C3 carbon, the DHA between two methyl group is dash degree.
Correct response. Zo is the most accurate answer. Determine if the chiral center is rocks. Sharp thinking. S is the right choice. Number of stereoisomers of camphor is? Bravo. 4 is the answer.
Which of the following are enantiomers?
Well done. Abby is the right choice.
Label each molecule as chiral or achiral.
Nicely done. Chiral, chiral is a solid answer. Name the molecule using Ida's naming system. You're right. 1,2-dichloroethene is the correct answer. What is the correct name of this compound? You got it. Your choice 3-phenyldecane is right. The two geometric isomers shown are called. Good job. Your answer cis-trans 1,2-dichloroethene works well here. What element is represented in this Bohr model? Excellent choice. Argon is the right answer. How many valence electrons chlorine contain? Well picked. 7 is the correct answer.
How many chiral center is found in C-Chateau?
Valid point. 1 is true. What is the relationship between these two isomers? Great thinking. Cs and trans is the right choice. Assign the configuration of the below two structures. Nice selection. SR is the correct and valid answer. How many stereoisomers does the following molecule have? Right choice. 3 is the best answer. Which the following compounds can show geometrical isomerism? 2-pentene 1, 3-dipromocyclobutane 1,1, 2-trichloropropane, 2-methyl, 3-heptane. Smart move. PQS is an accurate answer. How could the following molecule be created from benzene? Nice work. You chose CH3 alkyl 3 2-0 3 and it is correct. What is the configuration of the chirality centers? Clear logic? Your choice is sound and 100% true. How many optical isomers are possible for the following compound? Well reasoned. 3 is the correct choice. The absolute configuration at the two chiral centers in D-ribulose is. Exactly. 3s4s make sense and it is right choice. How many possible stereoisomers does polymycin have? Good thinking. 128 is the right answer.
A mixture of which two molecules would give you a specific rotation of 0.
Correct response. Addy is the most accurate answer.
Epoxide ring formation from vicinal halohydrons goes through a dash process.
Right again. SEM2 is a valid answer.
What is the maximum number of configurational isomers for the line structure shown?
Sharp thinking. 8 is the right choice.
How many haloalkane products form from free radical chlorination of the following molecule?
You chose 9, and it is correct. Give the absolute configuration on the labeled chiral carbon in 2N-N-trimethyl-3-hexanamine. Right choice. R is the best answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Well picked. Contact Narayan Changda is the correct answer.